One of the most spectacular, beautiful tree of India is blue mist tree. Why it is called a blue mist tree? Because this tree gets profusely laden with the deep blue flowers. They are born in globose clusters in the leaf axils, and because of their globular structure, it is presumed that the word Memecylon, used by the Dioscorides and Pliny the Elder, has been coined for the tree genus blue mist tree, botanically kept under the plant genus Memecylon. But it is also said that basically Dioscorides and Pliny the Elder, they use the word Memecylon for another fruit tree from the family Ericaceae, and that was Arbutus unido. It has edible nutritional fruits which look like strawberry, sometimes also called as strawberry tree, but that is different. But anyway, the name Memecylon is for the blue mist tree, which is also the tree called as the ironwood tree. Under the ironwood tree, we also have another tree which is called as Mesoaferia. Because of its wood strength, wood is very strong as iron. So this is another. But another unique feature about this tree is it has the association with particular kind of steel alloy making in the southern India. That particular steel, called as the wood steel, in southern India, mostly the wood of Memecylon was used for making that unique steel, which was carbon rich, and it had the banded pattern, and it was exported to other countries. So South Indian metallurgy was quite advanced, and they got that heat by burning the wood of Memecylon. So this is another assumption. The tree was named as ironwood tree. This particular tree grows in Western Ghats. India has 39 species, quite rich in the diversity of the Memecylon trees in India. But the maximum diversity of Memecylon species is reported from Madagascar, where there are more than 150 species and many are endemics. Out of 39 species reported in India, about 21 species, they are endemic to the Western Ghats. For example, Memecylon agasthmalayanum or mundunthorianum, talbotianum, named by Brandes. They are unique and endemic. Not only these, even Memecylon flavescens, Memecylon depressa, Memecylon, there are species like educaceanum, that is unique to Kerala, and it has not blue flowers but it has the white flowers. This is also endemic to the Western Ghats. These flowers were sometimes also included under the family Myrtaceae because it has the brush-shaped stamens. Stamens are more than 5. Usually they are double the number of petals, 8. But included in the family Melastomataceae presently, to which the Singapore rhododendron Melastoma malabatricum belongs, and this beautiful flower is also found in the Western Ghats during monsoon season. Quite pink, quite large flowers. But in case of Memecylon, individual flowers are small, hardly half centimeter. but their aggregate clustering leads imparts the beautiful color to the branches during the early summer season. And because of the bluish color, the flowers have been associated with Krishna as per the old Tamilian textbooks and reference in the poetry books under the name Kasana. So Kasana name denotes the Lord Krishna because of the dark bluish flowers of Memecylon, the blue mist tree. In Sanskrit, also known as Kakjambu. Jambu is the name of Jamun, and the name of the Jammu city is also after Jambu, although it is said that King Jambu Lochan established the city of Jammu, but Lochan means eyes. So again, that reference is we find in Mahabharata, where Jambu Lochan, eyes like jamun fruits, has been mentioned about Lord Krishna. But in South India, this particular tree, Melastoma, also has the bluish purple fruits. Although they look miniature guavas, or they look like the kumbi fruits, Keraya arborea, but the fruits are again very small, hardly half centimeter or 0.7 centimeter, and they look like terracotta water pots. And these fruits are also eaten by the birds and the mammals. The state animal of Maharashtra is the Indian giant squirrel, or the Malabar flying squirrel, that is the Ratufa indica. And this particular squirrel is also very fond of eating the leaves of Memecylon, because Memecylon leaves are sweet in taste. They are embedded with many phytochemicals, sugars, and many starches, even malic acid, which we usually find in apples. So the first taste is sweet and then a little sour because of the malic acid present in the leaves. Leaves are quite thick and they are borne in opposite fashion. Under surface of the leaves is stained, and this staining is due to the presence of aluminium. Memecylon trees are very good aluminium accumulators. So it is presumed that in the Western Ghats, usually Memecylon trees grow in the soils which is rich in aluminium or bauxite. Aluminium is otherwise amphoteric mineral. It is not used in any biological function. But these trees, Memecylon trees, or blue mist trees, or ironwood trees, they accumulate aluminium in the leaves. So leaves are rich in aluminium, especially the species Memecylon edule. Earlier days in southern India, the flowers and leaves, they were used for the extraction of dyes. Leaves yield yellow dye and flowers of Memecylon yield red dye. And these red dye were used in the textile industry to dye the silk. And reference mention of the dye obtained from Memecylon tinctorum is also registered in the Persian Iranian literature, where the dye varas is presumed to have been the extract from the Memecylon tree. Maybe the species was different, tinctorum. And this dye was also used by Nabi to stain the beard. But it is prohibited to stain the colors, stain the clothes which are to be worn while doing the Hajj pilgrimage. So such is the antiquity of stomaceae tree, Memecylon. Memecylon tree has been adored in poetry and ancient literature, and its association with the Kasana or Kana or Krishna has also imparted the name to the Khas Plateau in the Western Ghat. Khas Plateau is also full of the beautiful flowers and also the Memecylon trees. So Memecylon umbellatum is the commonest species, and its wood is useful in boat making, in making agricultural implements, and its also decoction is also recommended for the treatment of diseases. Leaf extract is useful for skin ailments. Its bark, leaf and root, they are used for the treatment of leukorrhea, gonorrhea, and especially the roots decoction is useful in normalizing the gynecological menstrual problems in ladies. This particular Memecylon genus, especially the Memecylon umbellatum or edule, we find the leaves have obscure venation. Veins are not prominent, they are obscure as the lamina is thick. Another unique floral character in the Memecylon flowers is that its anthers, they have connectives, enlarged connectives. These flowers do not produce any nectar. Instead, in the connectives of the stamens on the anthers, there lie terpenoid glands, and these terpenoid glands attract many honeybees and even ants. So mostly the honeybees come in search of pollen or the terpenoid compounds, not in search of any nectar, as they are without nectar. Number of petals is usually seen 4, so number of stamens is double, that is 8. Its ovary is inferior, and calyx remnants are persistent. We can see even in the fruits. Fruits turn brown on maturity in some species and dark purple blue in some species. For example, in case of edule, usually the yellow fruits are seen, but in case of umbellatum, dark blue purple fruits are present. This genus Memecylon has close association even with the wildlife, especially the hornbills. Hornbills are also fond of eating its ripened fruits. Aciceras gracius or Buceras, these are the hornbills which usually come and forage on the fruits. Many different kinds of birds and many kinds of squirrels and even palm civets, they also forage on the fruits of Memecylon. Memecylon has also been reported from China, about 16 species. In Sri Lanka, there are no less than 32 species, and one of the species critically endangered, which is Memecylon rhinophyllum. Another species reported endemic to Sri Lanka is named after hooker, Memecylon hookeri. Similarly, in India, some endemic species stands named after the botanical personalities. Botanist Subramanii, Memecylon subramanii is one species. Even Memecylon talbotianum, named after Talbot. He was a foreigner who worked in India, Another species named after Sivadasan is Memecylon sivadasini. This Memecylon, which has been adored in the South Indian poetry, which finds mention even in the hadiths of Islamic textbooks, which was once employed for the extraction of textile dye, and even its wood was used in making the unique kind of steel in the South India, which was exported to Israel, Libya, Syria, and even the sword of Damocles. That swords also used that alloy made in South India using the wood from the beautiful ornamental tree Memecylon. So this particular tree, because of the rich blue-purple floral clusters, so almost they are sessile and hugging the tree branches. This beautiful flowering has prompted many agriculturists, horticulturists and gardeners to include this tree as ornamental tree in parks and gardens and biodiversity parks of India. Its wood is very useful and it is a medicinal tree useful in various ailments, especially skin care. Leaf extract and fruit extract is useful in the treatment of skin blemishes, skin freckles. It is also reported as anti-diabetic. So even the diabetic patients can make use of its leaf and fruit by way of decoction or extract. As per Indian system of medicine, it has been used even in the folklore and herbal traditions. But this particular tree is not mentioned in the textbooks written by Sushruta and Charak. But its Sanskrit name is Anjan. Anjan is also the name, Hindi name for another tree, which is Kachanar related tree called Hardwickia bainata. Hardwickia bainata wood is also quite strong as of Memecylon. Anjan, because of the strength, Anjani Putra is Hanuman. Anjani, name of mother of Lord Hanuman. So that way also the symbol of strength in the name Anjan or Anjani. It has many vernacular names in South Indian languages, and one of the name in Malayalam is Kaasavu. It is the tree which is called as Neymara in Oriya language. And this particular tree has mention even in the old scriptures. But the word Anjan mentioned in Ramayana, some experts tell that refers to Hardwickia bainata, and this Hardwickia bainata tree grew in the Sri Lanka. But maybe even Memecylon tree might be growing in that Ashok Vatika where Sita lived in exile. There were other trees, Sarika Ashok also, but I think even Memecylon species must be growing in that particular garden because it has beautiful ornamental flowers and it stands adored and mentioned in the ancient Sangam literature of Tamil Nadu.